How's it going, ladies and Bruce's up, Bobby Sixkilla, and welcome back to Necrobarista. It's time for us to pick up 7 words, and it looks like we've got a shitload of words to pick from this time. We switched to beer this time. Let's hit a coffee since it's quite late at night now. I got Corona. You know, I just lost my monetization because I said that. So I hope someone laughed about that. Anyway. What are we doing? We need to pick 7? Let's go with metal arm. Duh. I mean, that one's awesome. Let's go with self-forgiveness. I like that one. Oh, my own boss. Let's go with that. Oh, chocolate. Obviously. Let's go with murderize. That's a good one. Cipher. I really like that as a word. That's a great word. And what else we got? I kind of like bittersweet. We only get one more. There's so many great words. Communism? Kidding. Thief. Let's go with bittersweet. I like bittersweet. I assume that's going to be a food thing, but whatever. Food. Ashley. Maddie. Get a nice range here. Guests. Excellent. Death. Law. This is lots of different stuff. And death again. We should be able to do something with that. Let's get out there and find something we can do with that. Now we should have a freebie somewhere. Is that our freebie? That's our freebie. A letter from Sophie. My dear Maddie, thank you for getting in touch with me. Or perhaps I should say congratulations. I make such a point of making myself hard to find that it's always a surprise to hear from anyone. I sometimes find myself fearing the day when I'll be contacted by someone who isn't a fan of mine, and who is more interested in locking me away than seeking my advice. One might think that people interested in putting me away would be more capable and in possession of more resources than those like yourself who simply possess curiosity, and yet it's always the latter who manage to break through the veil I've erected between myself and the outside world. You're the first in over 3 years to manage this, and so it is now time for me to find another hiding place. If your next letter manages to find me, I'll truly have something to worry about. If you're looking for a solution to the problem you outlined in your letter, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. My business is that of teaching people how to ask the right questions so that they can find the answers themselves, not giving the answers. After all, the most worthwhile answers are the ones I haven't found yet. That being said, your question about time transference is an issue of special interest to me. The idea of storing vitality within a living non-sentient creature, such as a plant, is one that I've long considered. The issue has always been one of retrieval. If you did find a way to transfer vitality from a plant to a sentient creature, it would result in a tremendous discharge of energy. Such a great discharge that I'm sure it would kill whatever subject was on the receiving end. Absorbing life force from something that doesn't seem that it would do you much good if it kills you in the process. Consequently, I've never experimented with this process myself. Even if I've earned a reputation for being a rule breaker, there are certain things that are simply off limits. Your idea of using non-living soul as the target for transference is an interesting one. No risk of killing the vitality recipient if it's already dead. Of course, that would require finding a way to infuse a non-living soul with vitality in the first place. And being that most reanimation techniques involve a significant discharge of energy, using the vitality transfer as the trigger would effectively be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Of course, reanimation is a far cry from necromancy, but if your only problem is one of living on borrowed time, well, you know better than I do how to resolve the particulars. I'm an alchemist, not a necromancer. I can offer you one piece of advice. These kinds of vitality transfers are not something to be experimented with. Any time that time is borrowed or lent, you're making an alteration to a ledger that the powers that be keep a very careful eye on. Even the smallest of disturbances is enough to attract their notice, and attracting their notice will put a quick end to any research you might be in the midst of. So if you're going to try a vitality transference, don't experiment. Go straight for the end goal. If you're going to catch the attention of those whose attention you do not want, make sure the endeavor is worthwhile. If you have a good reputation, it would be a shame to squander it on something so trivial as allow a mouse a few extra seconds on this side of mortality. As they say, go big or go home. I appreciate you taking the time to write to me. You've given me new things to pontificate on, and perhaps one day you may see the results of that pontification in one of my future volumes. Of course, it should go without saying that you won't be able to reach me again, at least not the same way you did before. I've been found, that means I need to do a better job of covering my tracks. While I rationally hope that I never find myself in a position where a fan's letter finds me, there is always a part of me that hopes that one of my readers will manage to track me down. Who knows? Perhaps the next letter I receive at my next residence will come from you. But I'm sure that you have better things to do with your time than try to track me down. There is a time to adopt the posture of a student and focus on learning, but it's obvious to me that you are someone who has spent plenty of time learning things and is now ready to do things. So do things, Maddie. Do big things, do dangerous things, do things that break the rules. Not all rules need to be broken, but if you're smart enough to find me, you're smart enough to know which rules are worth breaking. I'm grateful that it's always the reader mail that seem to find me, and never the demands to appear before some kind of tribunal or committee. I used to think that this was a long string of extremely good luck on my part, but over time I've come to realize that those who wish me gone lack the insight of the people who earnestly read my work. Readers such as yourself, who are the only ones who truly know me well enough to understand how I think, and where I would hide. Bravo, Maddie. You've demonstrated your ability to think like me. Now you must learn to think like yourself. Yours truly, Sophie Cordova. I see. What else we got? Boozers? Okay. We don't have the terminal for that one, but look at it. This one? We can do this one. We got so much lore. Oh. My bad. Unlock. Ashley's inventions too. Ashley's original ideas. Do not steal. Floor sweeper. My last experiment with the kitchen assistant V1 was a big success if you measure success in how quickly it was able to pulverize things generally. The throwing things at the ceiling technique does not work for pulverizing carrots or celery for salads, but it's very good at pulverizing halogen lamp bulbs. This made me think about how much better it would be if the floor was self-cleaning. Ashley's can sweep up a bit, but usually all they do is move dust around, and it's hard to get them to actually collect debris and put it into the trash. If the entire floor were covered in air jets, any small bits of debris that dropped on the floor would quickly get whisked away toward the corner, where a vacuum or something could suck them up into a disposal chute. Having a bunch of air jets would require a lot of power to run, but air isn't the only fluid that could be used to carry dirt and dust and broken shards of halogen lamp bulbs. Water could also probably do the trick. The issue is that water would damage the floor. Ripping up the wooden floorboards and pouring concrete would solve that problem, and we could mold the concrete in a way that its shape directed the water toward the drain on the floor. That would mean no more need to sweep. We could just hose down the entire cafe at the end of the day, and it would drain itself. That's how, like, cow sheds are done. I worked at a butchery once, and that's exactly how a butchery is. The floor's concrete, and it all flows into the center with a big drain in the middle, so you can just hose the place down at the end of the day. Then it would be dry by morning. That's actually a really good idea that doesn't require any special equipment or specialized hardware once the floor is installed. I should copyright that idea to make sure no one steals it. Update. After several days of calling the Australian Copyright Council, I finally talked to a person who told me that what I want to cover inventions is a patent, not a copyright. After several more days of trying to contact the patent office, I was told that someone already used my idea. I wonder if it's possible to sue someone for stealing your idea before you came up with it. It's pretty unfair that I'm not able to patent an idea just because I'm too young to have had the idea before someone else claimed it. Knife Retriever 2. Previously I discarded the idea of using a large electromagnet to retrieve the knife that was lodged in the ceiling. My research has led me to believe that the knife in the ceiling is actually stainless steel, which contains iron. Iron is ferromagnetic, which is weird because you'd think that only ferro would be ferromagnetic, but I guess iron is too. I thought she was a genius. Also, I was able to find a gas-powered generator that could supply enough power to run an electromagnet for a short period of time, so I don't need to worry about the circuit breakers. It requires a lot of gas, but luckily getting the knife down only requires running the electromagnet for a short period of time. I created the electromagnet by spooling a power cable around a piece of iron. The good news is that the electromagnet is great at pulling knives from where they are. The bad news is that it pulled all of the knives from the drawers that were within a meter of it when I turned it on. Also, the knife in the ceiling wasn't affected because it was too far away. I looked it up, and magnetic attraction follows an inverse cube law. I'm not sure what the opposite of a cube is, maybe it's a sphere? But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense that objects further away aren't pulled as strongly by a magnet. The Beseecher 5000. After my lack of success with the Knife Retriever V2, I asked Shay for help, and he lifted me up so I was able to pull the knife from the ceiling. He asked how long it had been up there, and I said, not long, and he said, more than a day? I said, oh, it wasn't up for a day, which is technically true. I'm glad that asking Shay for help succeeded, but I think in future there needs to be a way to automate this process of asking Shay for help. I think I need to create a robot with speech capabilities that is capable of asking for favors. Then I can have the robot ask for favors on my behalf. I think this is a good idea because usually when you ask someone for a favor, you owe them a favor afterward. But if it were the robot asking for the favor, then the robot would owe the favor, not you. Then the person would ask the robot to do them a favor, and the robot would say, sorry, I'm only capable of talking to people, not doing tasks. And then if the person asked the robot to ask you for a favor, the robot would say, I'm sorry, my battery is running low, and then it would self-destruct. It would be expensive to build a new robot every time you had to ask for another favor, but it would be better than having to owe someone a bunch of favors after they helped you. Really? You're that against helping someone else? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Alright, we're done in here. Let's see if we can find something upstairs or something. I always forget what we need for each one, unfortunately, so I have to check them every single goddamn time. Yeah, we got this one. Delicate operation. That one, that one, that one. Fingers crossed. Ashley stepped behind the counter and winced as the floor creaked under her feet. Maddie was nowhere to be seen, but Maddie did possess a remarkably sharp sense of hearing. Luckily, the cafe was empty, as Ashley tiptoed to the case where Maddie kept the baked goods. Ashley lifted the glass lid off the case and closed her eyes as the scent of yesterday's lamingtons wafted up and overwhelmed her. Ashley had spent most of her life convinced that she didn't like coconuts, but that had changed the day that Shay introduced her to lamingtons. To be fair, Ashley still wasn't sure that she liked coconut. Chocolate frosting could make anything taste good, but she couldn't deny the cake's irresistible allure. Ashley lifted a lamington from the case and gently set the lid back down. She raised the lamington to her lips and opened her mouth to take a bite. Ashley? In a moment of panic, Ashley shoved the pastry in her mouth and sealed her lips. Her mouth was quickly overwhelmed by the pastry's thick frosting covering, and she did her best to choke it down before turning to face Maddie. Said Ashley, hoping her cheeks wouldn't betray what was inside. Ah, good you're here, said Maddie. It was a bad sign anytime Maddie expressed pleasure at seeing Ashley. Normally Maddie wavered between being annoyed by Ashley's presence and being indifferently tolerant of her. Anytime Maddie was happy to see Ashley, it meant work. I need you to deliver something to Shay for me, said Maddie, turning to the counter to pick up a small bottle or something. As Maddie turned her attention to the bottle, Ashley took advantage of her momentary distraction to gulp down the remainder of the pastry. No time to chew, but her teeth wouldn't have done much good with the thick frosting. You're not busy, are you? Said Maddie. Ashley shook her head no. The pastry was no longer inside her mouth to create a conspicuous bulge in the cheeks, but opening her mouth would reveal a thick chocolate frosting that was still probably present on her teeth, so she kept her lips sealed. Good, said Maddie. He's upstairs. Get this to him ASAP. She handed the bottle to Ashley, and Ashley found herself surprised by how light the bottle was. Looking down, she could see that the bottle had thin walls. Within those thin walls, it contained some clear liquid and it was sealed. Its seal was held in place with a metal clamp, hermetically sealed. Ashley turned toward the stairs, holding the neck of the bottle in one hand, and let out a sigh. One last thing. Ashley swallowed her sigh with a gulp and closed her mouth before facing Maddie, lips tightly shut. Be careful not to drop it, said Maddie. Thousands could die if you spill any of it. In any other situation, Ashley would have asked Maddie a probing question to figure out what was in the bottle, or get some idea of the significance of the task that had been assigned to her. Significant enough that thousands of lives held in the balance, but apparently not important enough for Maddie to do it herself. But Ashley's lips remained sealed, and she merely nodded and turned around. Lamingtons were not meant to be consumed in a single bite, especially by mouths as small as Ashley's, and the thickness of the frosting that lingered in her mouth and throat made her desperate to ask for some kind of drink, but she dared not to ask for one. Ashley looked down at the bottle, unsure of the best way to carry it. The bottle was slightly too large for her to hold in just one hand, and grasping it in front of her with two hands felt awkward. The bottle wasn't heavy, but Ashley's confidence in her ability to carry the bottle without dropping it was less than perfect. Should she cradle it under her arm protectively? No, that seemed like it put her at greater risk of fumbling the bottle. The crook of her elbow wasn't as dexterous as her fingertips. She settled for carrying the bottle with one hand placed at the bottom to hold the weight, and the other hand wrapped around the neck to steady it. Ashley walked slowly with the bottle as she ascended the stairs. Maddie had told her that the liquid was volatile and the bottle was hermetically sealed, so there was zero chance of anything spilling out, but that didn't change the sense of trepidation Ashley felt. Armed with the knowledge that there were potentially thousands of lives at stake, she cringed every time she saw the liquid sloshing inside the bottle, leaping up and lapping the edge of the seal. As she realized her arms were shaking, and pressed the bottle against her chest, hoping to steady it. As Ashley's hand shook nervously with the bottle held against her chest, she wondered if the large amount of sugar she had just forced down her throat had something to do with the shaking. It was more likely that the shaking was a result of being told that thousands of lives could be lost if she dropped the bottle. Still, the lingering taste of the pastry in her mouth didn't help. Ashley slightly lamented the fact that she'd been forced to consume the lamington so abruptly. The lamingtons were a treat to be savoured, not shoved into one's mouth in a moment of panic. She hadn't even had the chance to properly enjoy it. It was hard to simultaneously feel the pleasure of a tasty treat and the panic of being caught. Whatever the outcome of this errand, she had had a wonderful pastry. Several agonising minutes later, Ashley arrived at the top of the stairs and spotted Shay standing at the handrail. As she walked up, Shay turned to face her as she presented him with the bottle. Ashley cleared her throat of any lingering stickiness before speaking. Maddie said you needed this. Oh, good, said Shay. I was running low. Ashley gasped with relief as Shay took the bottle from her and started taking deep, laboured breaths, suddenly becoming aware of how high her heart rate was. Shay popped open the seal on the bottle and splashed some onto the rag. Several drops dripped onto the floor and Ashley let out a terrified squeak. Something wrong? Said Shay. Maddie said thousands of lives could be destroyed by what was in that bottle. Well, that's the idea, said Shay, as he folded the rag and ran it along the railing that overlooked the cafe's ground level. This is supposed to kill 99.9% of all bacteria. That still leaves hundreds of bacteria alive, but I try not to think too hard about that part. Ashley's jaw dropped. It's disinfectant? Yes, said Shay. Why, didn't Maddie not tell you? Ashley's shoulders slumped in a mix of relief and exasperation. She only told me they could kill thousands. And you didn't ask what she meant by that? No, said Ashley. I was preoccupied. Ha, said Shay. He turned his attention back to the railing, inspecting it for a moment before continuing to wipe it. Ashley turned to head back downstairs. By the way, Ashley. Ashley turned to face Shay. He reached out and placed a finger on his shirt, wiping off a bit of frosting. He raised it to his finger and smelled it. Chocolate? He said. Yes, said Ashley. One of Maddie's lamingtons? Yes, said Ashley. Shay nodded and licked the frosting off his finger. Go downstairs and bring one up for me too, will you? Nice. Nada. Alright, looks like we're moving on with the next one, since I can't find anything else to activate right now. We have used up pretty much all of our dealies again. We need some more words. Alright, what's happening, Shay? Day 2, 10 PM, the terminal. Hello? Oh, what was that? I said, can I get 2 lattes? Yeah, sure thing. You want those takeaway or not? For here, please. Go take a seat, I'll bring it over. Ah, crap. You right, mate? Yeah, all good. I should really get Ashley to do this. Sorry, what? Nothing, just talking to myself. Alright. Yeah. Where's the broom? Ashley, where's the broom? Ashley? I need a hand. Come help me. Come on, I gotta find a broom. There we go. Hey, any of your friends around? Probably. There's one. What? When did you teach him to do that? I didn't, that one's just weird. That one is weird, yeah. That's the new one. How you doing, kiddo? Sleep deprivation's kicking in. Sometimes I feel like no one ever sleeps in this cafe. Except Keyshawn. He has slept a lot while he's been here, hasn't he? It's because you keep getting him drunk. What? I haven't done that once. Not you, you. I mean, you. So, not me at all, but Maddie and Ned. Gotcha. Those brigands. You're telling me. How's Maddie done? Well... That's not good then. How close are we to being done? Fairly close. I'm not super worried about getting it done without Ashley either. Rad. Anyway, what were you saying? Oh, just that I think I understand everything now. And? That's all. Well, I appreciate your restraint and not generously supplying me with your moral take on it. No worries. Don't want to be that guy. Dang, I'm actually gonna miss you once you're gone. Wow, are those some honest feelings coming from you? Doth thy icy facade crack? Does Maddie seem like the kind of person who hides behind a mask? The correct word there is dost, and please, Don't make me take it back. I guess you really got into the whole boatman of the River Styx thing, huh? If you ever find yourself on the River Styx, be sure to give the boatman a friendly domo arigato. Well, I guess we're going to be doing some time magic. Is that what you think I am? Kind of, yeah. Interesting. Do you not feel that way? I don't know if the metaphor is that accurate, but I can see why you draw parallels, but this place serves more as an entrance? You don't have to come here on your way to the next place, but it's on the route for sure. Just a stopping point on the highway to hell. I'm sorry, we don't allow AC/DC references here anymore. Axl Rose is a cautionary tale to those who would rather fade out than burn away. Well, I tried. We're less on a highway and more just an embouchure to the Emprian? If you want to get real fancy with the wording, that is. An entrance to heaven. Very roughly speaking, yeah. But how? I haven't seen the other side, so I can't even say that for sure. I'm fairly certain there's something there, though, which, I don't know. I can take comfort in that, I guess. Oh, and speaking of comfort, how are you feeling? Like every particle on my body is slowly moving away from every other particle in my body? That was rather eloquent. Expressing your feelings eloquently doesn't make them more valid, but it can make them easier for other people to understand. What use is feeling pain if you can't find a fun way to describe it? Day 2, 11 PM, the terminal. My head frickin' hurts. It sucks and stuff. I keep telling you the painkillers will take effect in a few minutes. How about sleep, god damn it? I'm not gonna stop yelling about it until they do. You know, some philosophers believe that experiencing pain is one of the best ways to make sure you know you're alive. Shay's met some of these guys, he swears it. He just had too much time to forget their names. That sounds fake. Which philosophers? Famous ones? Oh my gosh, you're actually just making it up. Possibly. You could have sold it better. Say that some famous singer said it instead. Cross that generational gap. You could all appeal to the kids. I feel like every time I do that, I just end up looking like one of those old guys who's afraid of wide-ranging societal shifts. Shay spends so much time on being an old guy, he's almost begun doubting whether he was ever actually young. I mean, you are old. I am not. You're like 6,000 years old. You gotta give me this one. Fine. How's your head feeling? Still sucks. How about we grab a drink and go sit outside? It's nice and cool out there. Do I have to? Yep. I find that painkillers don't work on headaches unless you shut up. How are you feeling now? Better. Marginally. Things existing at the margin still deserve attention. Come on, I'm sure the drink isn't hurting. What even is this? I put 6 sugars in it. Oh, you know me so well. I like that. So, how are things at home? Meh. What's that translate into old people language? Things are normal, I guess. Mum's nearly done with her PhD. That sounds good. It is, probably. Archie's pretty busy, that means we're stuck eating microwave dinners at night. Ashley's parents have forbidden her from tinkering with the microwave after witnessing one incident too many. Explains why you barely left this place since last week. I mean, I'd be here anyway. True. You did ask her, right? What, if I could be here? Yeah, don't want to invoke her wrath, do I? Haha, she doesn't worry about me being here. You remember when she talked to Maddie about liquor licensing laws, right? Don't you love it when the government offers to say your rights back to you after they've confiscated them? Huh, I think it was more of a lecture than a conversation. After all, Maddie wasn't doing anything wrong aside from letting you hang around after hours. I'm still amazed that Maddie didn't just tell her that we're not technically subject to the regulations since we're not registered with anyone but the council. She made the right choice. That would have been an ugly argument. But anyway, she's fine with me being here. She's got my mobile number, and as long as I respond to her check-ins, she's not going to come and get me. Good. I wouldn't want to worry you. Ah, wonderful. Ugh. My arm will get wet. Ah, don't worry about it. We can dry it off inside. Just try and enjoy the rain. Okay. I was joking about fake philosophy earlier, but I really do think it's important to take a moment to enjoy things when you can. Rain can feel oppressive. It can stop you from going outside, doing the things you enjoy. But there's nothing like the smell of rain before sunrise. Petrichor. Yeah, it's faintly magical. Did I ever tell you that? Only about 100 times. I can hear it 101 times, it's okay. Alright, I'm actually getting kind of wet. Let's head in. So given the fact that I'm very obviously a dork with a bleeding heart, it is definitely safe to assume that I've let people other than you stay longer than they're technically allowed. You're so emotionally repressed that I never could have guessed. It's actually impressive. But you know, we all have our ways of coping with persistent extreme stress. Millennial things. Why don't all these poor kids just buy more money? Yep. But yes, I do understand how you feel. The separation, the difficulty keeping your thoughts together, the base level feeling that something's slightly askew, and the fact, not the feeling, that your time is up. Never loved facts. Me neither. Honestly, I think it feels like having a cold, just without any of the physical symptoms. I guess that description works too. It's not quite as compelling as the one about your particles being repulsive though. Oi, that's definitely not what I meant by that one. Isn't it? It's about time. I can't believe I've created these beautiful creatures, and you turn them into dumbwaiters. Alas, such is life. They gotta pay rent somehow, considering how many cups they drop. That's a feature, not a bug. It's to make them seem more alive. You've taught them to intentionally drop coffee cups in the name of verisimilitude? You'd hate for your little mechanical critters to be too good at their job. It would totally kill the vibe. Maybe. I'm gonna get Maddie to start ordering cheaper cups. See, I'm promoting efficiency in our procurement cycles. I hate whoever gave you that management book. I'm sensing some hostility. Do I need to talk to HR? Who's our human resources manager? That thing. I'm sure it's very good at its job. Just not at bussing coffee. That thing's a lunatic. And it eats garbage. Ah, Maddie wants us downstairs. Oh, I suppose she's done setting up. I'm glad she was able to do it without me. Gosh, so proud. Taught her everything I know. You're a gremlin, you know that? Gremlins are often blamed for mechanical problems, so in Ashley's case the definition fits perfectly. Of course. Shall we? Uh-oh. Day 3, 12 AM. Basement. Are we doing the thing now? Is it about to go down? So bloody damp down here. I know we're in a cellar, but I don't suppose you have a window we could open or anything. Yeah, we got a vent that leads outside somewhere. Maddie, can you open it up? Get some fresh air coming through? I'm pretty sure it's got a dumpster or something sitting on top of it right now. Besides, I'm busy. Just grin and bear it. Oh, this is where we started, isn't it? Can we get this over with? We've done this before, old man. Some people think Shay is wise behind his years. The truth is, he just doesn't look his age. You know it takes a while to set up. Calm your farm. I do not appreciate your tone. Sorry. Can we get some more lights on maybe? With all the crap you got scattered around the place. Maddie has more important things to do than declutter the cafe. I like to at least know where I'm putting my feet. Ashley, would you mind? Here we go. Thanks. You're more organized than last time, I see. Practice makes perfect. Keeping a place organized is easy. You just have to clean a little bit every single day. That's true. Hey, Maddie. How much more wire do we need? I think that's enough. Great. Now, Shay? What's up, little P? Some people use diminutive nicknames to create emotional distance. Shay uses them to close that distance. I found you a chair. Ah, thank you. So, this whole thing, surely it's not legal, yeah? Yes, if the council found it confronting. For good reason, I suppose. Because it utterly upsets the natural order. Mate. It's not just bureaucracy. Shush you. I missed that one. Most rules can be bent after all. And Maddie has a particular fascination with breaking rules. Maddie says the only reason she learned the rules is so she'd know when to break them. She's only half joking. Hey, don't give her all the credit. Ah. Is this related to her gambling for time? Mm-hmm. So, the transfer. Well, it's the same sort of magic we're doing now, yes. The council successfully suppressed all available information about it, though. Suppressing information doesn't make it go away. It just hides it from the eyes of people who lack the curiosity and persistence to uncover it. For good reason. What happens if something goes wrong? Well, you don't tend to mess it up more than once. Or try again after you fail, for that matter. What do you even call this sort of magic, then? Necromancy. Question's irrelevant, because it's banned. Strictly verboten, off limits, and likely to be met with a harsh penalty. Badass? I call it badass. Well, by definition, it's a conduit ritual. Rituals are boring, it's the consequences that you have to worry about. But, looking past all the smoke and mirrors and fancy names, you can just call it necromancy. All those hours are in this tree. Why did you hoard the hours here instead of using them to pay your debt? Why would I use them to pay off a debt I could use them to save a life instead? Oh shit. Alright. How can I help? Oh shit, I missed that one. Sorry. I got a little bit too overzealous with the clicking. Council Gazette. We regret to inform you of the passing of Shay Wu, a beloved fixture in the Australian alchemical community, and owner of the terminal. As an innovator in alchemy and material spellcraft, and as a friend to anyone and everyone who walked through his doors, he will be missed. The best compliment a man like Shay could ask for. We're trying to undo Shay's death. You ready to do this again? Sure. Try not to kill me this time. Cool. Ashley, let's do this. Ready when you are. I hate this. You have reservations? It's unnatural to store hours in a non-sentient being like that. I can still feel pain, and this is a very painful process for everyone involved. Yeah? Yeah. Guess it's time for us to watch the show. Let's see how badly this can go wrong. Yay. Calcination. Solution. Separation. Conjunction. Putrefaction. Congelation. Cibation. Sublimation. Fermentation. Exaltation. Multiplication. Projection. Conjunction. Good enough. Ashley? Everything's nominal on my end. We're looking good, so let's get started. Increase power to 80%. Cibation. Holding steady. Cool, next segment. Activating. How are we doing? It's going fine. Conjunction's about halfway open. Just concentrate. This doesn't look like a good idea at all. I might be with Ned here. Having some issues here. Hey, we need more power. Yep, ramping it up. I don't know if this will melt our conduits though. Oh crap. Yep, our conduits are definitely melting. Ashley, language. Cibation. Fuck. Bypass it. I can patch the wires, but I don't know what else I can do that now. On it. How close are we to finishing the cibation? We're about 90%. That's not good. Shit. Shit. Are we gonna try again? I think I'll have to reinforce the wires, and that'll fix it. Yes. We're gonna keep going until we make it through. Do or die. Calcination. Separation. Conjunction. Libation. Here we go again. Not again. Just a couple of seconds more. And you've got it. Yes. Beginning sublimation. Sublimation. You got this, Maddie. What's next? We've opened the connection. Now all I gotta do is transfer the time. How you feeling, Shay? Alright. I don't know. Shay? Are we gonna turn him into a monster? A tree monster? I got an itchy nose like I've got like cocaine withdrawals. I promise I don't have cocaine withdrawals. Sublimation. No! Okay, we won't stop. We've gotten this far. I'm not giving up now, damn it. Maddie? I can't hold on to it, it's slipping out of my fingers. Energy levels are dropping again. See if you can keep it going just for a few more moments. Rerouting. I guess that didn't work again, huh? We could try it again. I don't plan on stopping. I think the conduit's only gonna last one more go, then it's kaput. And maybe you're kaput too. I don't know. Shit. Alright, Ashley. Take your position again. We'll get it this time. Stop. Just stop. No, I've nearly got it, I swear. You are not going to bring me back. No. I've humoured this enough. You've done your best. But this task is beyond you. I need to move on. And it's time to make your peace with this, instead of trying to pervert the natural course of things. You never asked me if I wanted to stay. You just made the choice for me and hurt yourself and everyone around you in the process. Let me leave. Well, that was intense. Jacoby, you're a goddamn bin chicken is what you were. What? An ibis? No way. Crabs don't eat sushi or garbage. You don't know that. Yeah, well, you know what does eat sushi and garbage? What is it? Scrinis molucca, otherwise known as the Australian bin chicken. We find that term offensive. We're actually white ibises. Aha! Ha! Incriminated yourself there. You're a bin chicken. I expect nothing less from a bin chicken. Damn it! Okay, so moving on. Classic misdirection. No, seriously, did you two see what happened back there? Yeah, that was rough. And yes, that thing with the ritual was also tough to watch. You weren't here when Shay died, but I remember they just behaved like nothing happened. Oh? My impression was that neither of them had ever remotely considered the possibility of failure. Idiots. Yes, but we're only here because of them, so we should be respectful. It seems to me like nobody in this cafe really seems to think things through. Yep. This place has a weird effect on people. Too much magic in the air, maybe. Yeah, who knows? Will they be okay? I don't know how to... I'd forgive something like that. Being kept here against my will, while the my very essence breaks down. That's what I believe kids these days call a party foul. Honestly, I don't know. Being a bin chicken is something the kids these days call a party foul. I think Maddie probably has some self-reflection to do. Oh, he's a bin chicken. My favourite one is a bin chicken. Oh well. Alright, we're going to wrap this one up here, and in the next one, picking words again. Hopefully we can get some better words this time. I know I should write down what we need and then focus on that, but I just want to pick the words I like. So we're going to do that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.